Hey guys, this week's episode is brought to you by buffalosbigdeal.com. What's the big deal? It's free. Their deals get you 50% off your favorite local places. No need to pay for a gift certificate. Simply download, print, and display your voucher when you visit. So head to buffalosbigdeal.com after this podcast. Today's guest is Renee Allen, the chef/owner of R&R BBQ Truck. Renee came down, talked about her culinary background, starting her barbecue truck, and her success so far. Let's get to it.
We just were at your truck actually a week ago. We were at the Museum of Science for the
Illuminate?
The Illuminate, yes. I
Really?
was trying to think of the name of it for like the longest time. I mean, it was really busy. I
Yes.
saw you back there like running
okay.
around.
Yeah, for the first part, I was making the food, or taking the orders, and then the second part, I was making the food, so
Yeah.
probably
Yeah, I think
you came later.
Yeah, when I came up, I it wasn't you. I know that.
Yeah.
But I hadn't had it in a couple months, and I had, I think, the buffalo chicken, and then my mother-in-law had like a combo platter, but it was really good. We had a really good time. Yeah. How was that event? It was kind of crazy to see like every food truck at one place at one time.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was one of the best events we've done all summer. And it was really out of the blue because they didn't know exactly how many people were coming.
Yeah, and then it started like raining.
Yeah, and then it was raining, but there was still crowds of people everywhere, and there were so many trucks, but everybody had a line, like never-ending line.
Yeah.
It was great.
Because, I mean, normally, like, I think a lot of people want to have these events where all the food trucks are, but then they don't think that, like, there's got to be enough people to...
Right.
Like, people are like, yeah, let's have all 10 food trucks. And then it's an event, like, with 500 people. And it's like...
And then we each do, like, $100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it seemed like every single one of them had, like, a crazy line going.
Yeah, I talked to pretty much all the trucks, and everybody just had constant people the whole time. Then the nice thing was the very next day was the event at the Boulevard Mall. And it was the same deal. A lot less trucks, but just as many people, and it was crazy.
Nice.
So
it's good to see
two awesome days in a row.
You can't argue with that.
It's nice. In October, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, are you starting to see, like, some of the early signs of the winter, like, crowd effect happening already?
Yeah. This weekend we did the Niagara Apple Fest.
Okay.
And Saturday was freezing cold. And then Sunday was like rainy and really windy. So it was
not a lot of people.
Not quite the crowd that we wanted, but you know, people still eat in the winter, so.
Well, yeah.
And we adjust the menu so that, you know, we can serve chili and stuff like that people want.
To appeal to the cold.
Yeah.
The cold outside. Nice, nice. So how did you get your start into the cooking world, per se? Like, I just found out minutes ago before we started this that you worked at my home, like my childhood pizzeria, Ricotta's. But I mean, how did that happen? How did you?
It was a toss-up between Arby's and Ricotta's. And you know what it was? The uniform requirements. There weren't a whole lot at Ricotta's, so I started there. I was 16. It was my first job ever.
Wow.
I had no idea what I was doing. I could barely answer the phone. I couldn't make a sub. I couldn't do anything. And I was there for about 6 years, and I basically learned how to do everything in the kitchen. I became a manager and, you know, just learned as much stuff as I possibly could and tried to, you know, just watch others and learn what they were doing. And I think that job actually was when I realized that I wanted my own business in food service.
Okay.
I love the way the kitchen works, and when it's busy, the flow of everything. And it's, you know, it's an awesome environment to be in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you, like, somewhat of the controlled chaos. Like, that things are, like, literally always on the brink of, like...
like, one thing could just set it all off, but when everything's running smoothly, it's really cool.
Nice. And so you pretty much knew, like, at an earlier age, I guess, that what you kind of wanted to get into?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I tried retail for a little bit and hated it.
Yeah.
I don't really like folding clothes, and...
That's understandable.
You know, I don't like doing that stuff. And then I worked at Delta Sonic in the deli brick oven restaurant kind of thing they had. I was there for about 3 years. And
that's a lot of food.
Yeah. A lot of food stuff there.
Yeah.
And then I got the truck.
Yeah. So I mean, sorry. So how did you first hear about the food truck thing in general? Because you were I think the second truck out there, right? It was after Lloyd had come. So were you kind of seeing what they were going through, or had you already thought about this?
I actually didn't know anything about them, and I was just kind of looking into different options with, restaurants and franchises and just different. I knew I wanted food service, and I knew I wanted to work for myself. I just didn't know exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
And someone had suggested to me a food truck. So then I kind of did the research, and I was looking at other cities, and, it seemed huge in other places. And then Buffalo only had one. So I thought, what a great business to get into. And I found the truck actually on Craigslist.
Oh, wow.
And I got it out of Rochester. I went up there and looked at it.
Close, too.
Yeah, it was like everything just fell into place. Yeah. And even when I saw the truck online, I'm still kind of like, I've had little 2-door cars my whole life, and then here I am, I'm going to buy this huge truck and drive it around. And,
I think that's very underrated about food trucks, is that people realize, you got to drive this.
Yeah, you have to move that vehicle around and, parallel park and stuff.
Oh, my God.
But I went up to Rochester and looked at it, and, I fell in love with the truck. It was really cool, and I could envision all kinds of stuff and just working there and having it at events and so gave it a go. And so far it's been almost 2 years, so
yeah, that's awesome.
It's been pretty great.
Yeah. And so when you were thinking of the food truck, were you toying with ideas of what you were going to serve, or did you always know it was going to be barbecue focused?
I had a couple different ideas, but really the barbecue came from a road trip down south, and we went to Tennessee and got some really good barbecue.
That'll make you fall in love with barbecue. Going down
and just
south.
I like the casual atmosphere of barbecue places, and the food is really cooked with passion. It's not something you don't just throw it in a fryer whatever. It takes hours to cook, and there's different methods and spice rubs, and it's really like a passion.
Yeah, it's like regional pride down there too. You tell somebody who you are, where you're from by the way you make your barbecue. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I just thought that was really cool, and
because you worked at a pizza place and the deli, did you have to kind of teach yourself on the go? Essentially?
Yeah, I spent several months just kind of testing out different things, and some stuff didn't work, and then I would get something right, and once you got it right, this is good,
Yeah.
And even after I got the truck up and running, I still try to find different ways to improve things, and
of course,
just different ways to cook stuff and all that. Yeah. It's a learning process.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you talk to any chef or anybody, and they say, you're always constantly improving because you got it.
Well, yeah, if you're not, then you just kind of fall behind, you know? Because everybody else is looking at new things and improving their menus, so if you don't,
yeah, exactly,
you'll be left behind.
So you started, was it in the winter of...
Yeah.
So how was it starting a food truck in the winter time? It's probably nice because you got to maybe ease into it a little bit as opposed to starting in the dead of summer, but...
Right. I think it was really hard at first, but it definitely helped. If you can start in the winter and make it through that, then anything after that is just a piece of cake. Then the summertime came and it was great, busy every day.
Yeah.
And then when the winter came again, I already knew what to look forward to. I knew what the problems were going to be.
Yeah.
You don't even think about stuff like your water line's freezing. You don't even think of that until it happens. And then you're like, well, duh, of course. It's negative 20 degrees outside.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and there's just so many things that you
would think the inside of those things would stay so toasty and warm.
Oh, no. They're freezing. Freezing. And it's better than outside because you don't have the wind. But still, the floor, it's a big metal box. So, the floor is freezing and your toes are frozen. And I got a little space heater last year, but It
Nothing.
doesn't even do much.
It doesn't even make a dent.
And then in the summertime, it's 90 degrees outside and 110 inside.
Yeah,
the
you can't
truck.
be cool enough. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, those are all things that you learn as you go, and
yeah,
it's just part of the business.
Yeah, because I was kind of nervous last winter because there's that big boom right at the end of summer where maybe 4 trucks opened, and I know that you and Lloyd were the only ones who had actually gotten through a winter, and so I was like, oh man, I'm just hoping they're not gonna die off.
Yeah,
but it's good to see that everybody's kind of figuring it out. And
yeah, I think it helps because we're all really close too. We talk a lot, all the other food truck owners, and we kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And when Roaming Buffalo started and Cheesy Chick and the whole hog, they kind of asked us, hey, what kind of stuff do we have to look forward to for the winter, and what kind of ideas do you have and stuff like that. So
nice. We
all kind of help each other out with things like that.
That's good. I think if everyone's helping everybody else, the whole community benefits. And having a bunch of good food trucks is a good thing.
Now I think we're up to 8 or 9 now.
We actually went to Amy's place, or Amy's truck.
Yeah.
So Amy's place's truck, and I think that makes 10.
10, okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, every time I turn around, there's another new truck.
Yeah,
but
and,
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I saw on Twitter somebody spotted a food truck that was from Miami, but it was parked somewhere in Kenmore.
Oh.
And they tweeted what are you guys doing in Kenmore? Because the Twitter account was still up, and they're like, oh, we just sold it to somebody that's opening a new truck. So so now there's another one coming.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I mean, it's crazy to see how this has expanded over the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. I know. When we first started, I made so many phone calls just trying to set up places and different businesses to go to, and no one even knew what I was talking about.
Oh,
it's a food truck, and they're like, huh?
Pine Hill?
Yeah, Pine Hill. You drop off sandwiches? And I'm like, no, we have, good food. We have, real food. You come out and
fresh.
order, and, it's, made to order. It's good stuff. And some people were really excited, and some people just had no idea about it. So I think now with more trucks and we've been around longer, it's, a lot more people know about it.
So
cool.
when you call somebody and they're a little bit more knowledgeable.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing now is I don't really have to make those phone calls anymore. It's people calling me and saying, hey, we want you to come here. And yeah, it makes my job a lot easier.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, finding places, it seems like it just is.
Yeah.
If you were going from a cold start, would just be a nightmare.
Right.
Well, because when I noticed when you first started, you did a lot of South towns. Mm-hmm. You were a lot of lunch spots all over, and it was multiple ones. I saw you were
oh yeah,
really early in the beginning.
Yeah, that was not a good idea. I mean, you don't know until you try it out, but I did a lot of South towns and stuff because that's where I'm from. So those are the areas that I know.
Yeah.
And with downtown Buffalo, the permits are very specific and
Buffalo Place, right?
Right, Buffalo Place. And they're not the way the fee works is there's one time of the year where you get the permit and you pay for a whole year.
Okay.
But if you go 5 months later, you still pay for the past 5 months that you weren't even operating. So halfway through, I didn't want to pay the full price and then only get 6 months worth.
That makes sense.
So I started in the South towns and tried to hit up business parks and stuff like that. And some of them were good and some just weren't. But a big problem was people didn't really understand the concept. We would go to one place and get a ton of people and they loved it. We go to the next place and we get 3 people, and it's I think people just didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah.
But I kind of worked out the problems and found new spots and
nice.
Yeah. It's going much smoother now.
I mean, I think South towns are still hurting on the food trucks thing. I mean, North towns is obviously popular, as you can see from Amherst wanting a permit.
Right, Amherst wanting to take our money now.
And I mean, obviously the city, but I think the South towns. I mean, East Aurora every now and then it seems like there's some event, but otherwise it's definitely lacking. So I don't know. There needs to be some location that.
Yeah, it's just there aren't as many people and not as much foot traffic.
True.
So it's just kind of I think it'll grow eventually.
Well, you're at the Taste of Orchard Park, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
We've done that the past couple years. That's always a good event.
Nice.
So we'll definitely do that again next year.
Nice. I think actually last year was the first year we didn't make it. Because, I'm also from Orchard Park. So so we usually go down there and, hang out with the family and do some some eating. But, yeah, hopefully that works out a little bit better. But we'll see.
Yeah, you can't make it to every event.
No.
That's one thing I realized this summer.
Was this like the first year we had to actually kind of turn stuff down? Or?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because we had, I had almost every single weekend booked this summer. And working Monday through Friday doing lunch stuff and a couple dinner things here and there, and then every single weekend.
Yeah.
There was multiple things on one weekend. I think like September 15th. Super random day. There was like 3 or 4 events going on that one day, so I had to kind of pick and choose what I was going to do here and there. But
yeah,
I'm definitely not complaining about too much business. No, God,
no.
Not enough sleep, but definitely lots of business.
And I feel like probably with barbecue, there's a lot more logistics that have to go because the prep time has to be considerable for
right.
You go somewhere for 3 hours, but before that, you're probably spending, 8 hours.
Oh, yeah. I work about like 14 or 16 hours a day just between prepping the food and, getting all the meats cooked and the whole paperwork side of things.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's one thing about having a small business. Like, I don't have somebody answering the phones and returning emails. I do all of that.
Yeah, it's all you.
Yeah, hopefully within the next few years, I'll be able to hire some more people, but
yeah,
you start small and grow from there.
Yeah. So, speaking of the Amherst permit, after the City of Buffalo permit happened, I forgot when that was exactly.
It was like last year.
Yeah. How did that change things for you? Did you get one of the city permits or?
I actually didn't get one of those.
Okay.
The permit is $1,000.
Yeah, which is kind of ridiculous.
It's kind of a lot of money. And I looked at it like, how often am I actually going to be using that permit and going to those different spots?
Yeah.
And like I said, I had every weekend booked, every lunch booked.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think I would be using it all that much. I think next year I might get the permit and try to look into new spots.
Okay.
But this year I didn't really think it would be worth it.
Yeah, because you have your spot on Maine and I forgot what
Maine and Huron.
Maine and Huron. Okay.
Yep. And that's through Buffalo Place.
Yeah, so it's a different.
Yeah, that one's about $1,500, and then the other one's $1,000.
Yeah.
And then there's places where you go and you pay nothing, so
I
try to find those places.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, but the whole thing with Amherst,
so that's the recent development.
I'm not even sure exactly how all of that started, because I know I've been going there for a year and a half, different spots in Amherst, same with Lloyd's. A couple of the other trucks have gone to a few different places.
Yeah, a couple of those locations are like pretty big.
We've never had any problems with anything. Never had anyone complain. We weren't by any restaurants. It was business parks.
Yeah.
And out of the blue, somehow they decided that we were supposed to have this permit, and it's good for 90 days, and it's $100, but it's only good for one location.
Yeah.
So if you get that permit, like, you can only go to that one spot, and then every 3 months you have to renew it and get a new one.
Yeah, and so if you're going to like 4 places a week or 3 even.
Yeah, it can get pretty pricey. And like the one spot we went to once a month.
Yeah.
So we'd be paying $100 to go there 3 times.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really seem fair to me. But
no, it's kind of BS to just automatically be like, oh yeah, we forgot about this.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah. You've been doing this for a year, but we totally forgot. Like, you totally have to pay us like $100 every 3 months.
Right. So we got, like, for the Boulevard Mall thing last weekend, we all got the permit for that. Mm-hmm. And that was for a charity for the Buffalo City Mission. So that's something that I wouldn't back out of because of a permit fee.
Yeah.
I like to do those kind of things. And I think I think Amherst is actually working on making something that's a little more relevant to the food truck business.
Yeah.
Because that other permit, it was like 20 years old, the wording of it and everything.
Yeah,
it
and
doesn't
it's probably
even
applying
really,
to some weird...
Yeah, it doesn't really even apply to what we do, but it was the closest thing that they could fit to us and take our money.
Yeah, I mean, we had Teddy from Lloyd down here a couple days ago, and he was telling us about, like, going there and, like, getting actually kicked out by, like, the police, and, like, it just seems ridiculous, like, this whole thing.
I haven't actually gotten kicked out of anywhere, but I've been avoiding Amherst since that whole thing started, because I'm not trying to cause any problems or anything, and I want to follow whatever rules we're supposed to be following, and, so I just stick to other spots, which could really hurt that town if all the different towns are going to come up with different rules and all these fees. A lot of the trucks are just going to avoid going there because we can only afford so much, we already get several permits a year. There's only so many we can afford to pay.
Yeah, it just seems ridiculous. I mean, have you decided to wait to see what happens with this, or?
I do have one more event in Amherst, so I'm going to have to get the permit for that. It's at Simonelli.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But they agreed to split the permit fee with me.
Oh, nice.
So I thought that was really nice of them.
That's very nice.
And that's our last event there. So I'll be doing that one. Then probably after that, I don't think I'll be in Amherst until
it's all...
we get something sorted out that's a little more reasonable.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it kind of also maybe helps or works out that it's getting colder. So, like, there's less of a reason. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it's a messy situation. But I guess this is one of the good things about having this community is that you guys all can have a single voice against...
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we did with the city of Buffalo. We all worked together, and we also all were on the same page, hired one lawyer to help us, and so we could all split the cost of that and all get our ideas together and present one plan to the city, which seemed to really help everybody.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, the public, because I actually haven't talked to any food truck owners since this, but it was awesome to see this public support. Like, there's that petition that was signed by like 5,000 people or some crazy number. Yeah, and
that was really cool.
Yeah, and I think like I remember there was like a record live stream of like the conference because I was watching it at work. I remember like watching it and like seeing everybody talk. Like, it was good to see everyone rally behind it because
it definitely made me feel good to have the support of everybody. And, we all work really hard to have our businesses up and running. And, we're not trying to cause problems for any restaurants. No. We love restaurants. It's why that's why we're in the food service business.
Yeah. But the startup cost to open up a brick and mortar restaurant is insane.
Oh, yeah. It's not something, unless you're getting lots of money from your parents, it's not something you can do in your mid-20s,
Yeah.
Unless you hit the lottery or inherit a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
But, this is just a different business model, but the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to have the public support us and like what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, with being on the food truck now, you're kind of also working the front of the store or restaurant, so to speak.
Yeah.
How is that like transit? Because now you are literally face to face with your customers and seeing them. I mean, how has that like been getting used to? I mean, because I don't know if you were like, obviously in Rick's you're behind the glass and stuff like that. But.
Yeah, at the pizzeria, I definitely was in the kitchen most of the time. I did take care of customers here and there.
Okay.
Delta Sonic, I dealt with the customers face to face every day. But it's really, I like it. I mean, we get a lot of feedback, good and bad sometimes, but it's nice to be able to talk to people and, just interact with the customers. Yeah. And I also get a lot of ideas from them, you know,
really?
Like menu ideas or just different stuff they're looking for. A lot of people are asking for straws, which, I don't use a straw when I drink out of a can, but a lot of people do. So I got straws, just like little things like that. It's nice to be able to talk to the customers and see what they want. And, then I can offer that for them.
Awesome. So, a couple of the other trucks occasionally do like late night. Like they appeal to the drunk crowd essentially.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered R&R getting into the late night crowd? I mean, obviously with the permit and stuff like that.
Right.
But I mean, is that a future idea that you might have, or?
Yeah, I would definitely do that in the future. I would have to get the other permit to do that, to get over on Allen and Hurdle.
Yeah.
Elmwood.
Yeah.
But I think we've done a ton of events, just like at Silo City we did.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We've done a couple events there.
Oh, yeah, and you're after
the
you guys are one of the trucks that are after the Thursday in the Square, or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we were down there
for Mississippi.
Yeah. On Mississippi after the concerts. We did that.
Yeah.
The Albright Knox event last weekend.
Yeah.
So we do quite a few nighttime things.
Okay.
Just not out on the street where I have to have that permit that I don't have.
I also know that you do catering too. Is that something that has like been taking up more of the business, or how's that been going?
Catering this year, I had a lot more catering than last year.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy. I like doing the catering.
Yeah.
I do drop-off catering and I take the truck to parties.
Oh, okay.
And people love that. We did a baby shower a couple months ago and everybody just loved it because it's something totally different,
Yeah.
Not everybody has like a food truck at their party at their house.
No.
But people love it. And I do the drop-off catering too, and that helps to, like in the wintertime when lunches are a little bit slower, the catering helps to kind of supplement the business.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I had never even thought of catering until like recently, and then I like started noticing like on the food truck pages like, oh wait a minute, because like when we were planning our wedding, it was like it was a little early into the food truck world, and so like I didn't even think about the catering stuff, but in retrospect, like I was like, oh,
that would have been cool.
That would have been so cool to have that like outside the wedding, like afterwards. But yeah, it seems like it's a great way to like hedge yourself, like to always make sure you got something going on. Yeah.
Plus, with the catering, I can do a lot bigger variety of things.
So it's not the
right. It's not just barbecue. I do pasta and salads and all kinds of different things. So dessert trays.
You get to branch out a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's cool too.
Very cool. So what do you? For you, what are your goals for the future of R&R barbecue? Like, what would you like to see in the next year or 2 years or so?
In the next couple years, I would definitely like to see, probably, that's a tough question. I have so many different visions of what I want to do.
Yeah.
I think I would definitely like to open a restaurant someday.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll be in the next couple years or not.
Yeah.
But, just the more stuff I can do with a truck and the more experience I can get, I think that would help with reaching that goal. But I think long term, I would like to have just a small restaurant where people can come and sit down in a dining room and eat, and have the truck too.
Yeah, of course.
I think that would be ideal.
Would it also be barbecue or?
I think it would be probably some of the same barbecue stuff, but also expanded.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if after like 2 years you've kept your passion for the barbecue, or if you ever itch to branch out and do other things.
Well, that's why I like the catering, because I can do other things, and I still do specials. I do all kinds of different stuff with the specials.
Okay,
but I would eat pulled pork and beef brisket every day. I mean, I do. I eat it every day. I try not to, but I mean, you smell it and it looks so good, and
see, that's a test of knowing that you have a passion for something when you're still 2 years out. Yeah, still craving
and
that
you
food.
Still eat it every single day. Yep,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
well, it's great, and like I said, like last week when we were at the museum, it was awesome, and so it's good to see that you're still going strong, and good luck with the upcoming winter.
Well, thank you.
Is there any events? This would probably go up early November. Is there any things on the horizons that we can pimp that people should be on the lookout for?
We're going to be at Delaware Park November 3rd for a bike race.
Okay.
And we're doing the Pasta Fest.
Oh, okay.
It's the 18th, I believe.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So we have those going on. The Bills games, all the home Bills games.
Oh, you guys are at all the home?
Yep, we're right outside Gate 5.
That has to be an interesting experience.
Speaking of drunk customers, that's a good one. Actually, the Bills games are one of my favorite because they're so fun. And
well, I feel like it could go both ways because you guys are there after the game too.
Yeah,
right?
We're there before and after. And
I feel like one of those is probably more happy than generally the other.
Well, it depends on if they win or lose, but usually the customers are pretty happy, pretty drunk, pretty hungry. So it works out.
It's a winning combination.
Yeah, it works out really good for us.
Man, I can't. Has it ever been like craziness where you're like, all right, this is a little too much? Or for the most part, well behaved?
People are pretty good. Every now and then we'll get, one kind of rowdy person, but...
It's a Bills game.
Yeah, it's a Bills game.
So for one, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but for the most part, people are really awesome. We just get a lot of drunk slurs, and I love this, and you guys are awesome. Come to my house, like... People just, they seem to really love the food.
Nobody coming up there asking for, like, chicken fingers or anything?
No, not yet. We get a lot of people that request hot dogs, and
There's not a hot dog food truck right now. There you go, maybe.
No, it doesn't need to be. I mean, I like hot dogs, but I think there's enough of those around.
Very true. I would agree with that, especially downtown. There's like a hot dog stand every other street, so,
Yep.
All right. Well, Renee, thank you so much for coming down here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Nice meeting you officially for the first time. And keep up the good work.
Thank you.